Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a fantastic Friday so far. Today, we're going to be diving into an altcoin that I am extremely excited about that is building on top of the Cardano blockchain. Those of you guys that watch me regularly will know that we have stressed the importance and the game-changing properties that a stablecoin is going to bring to the Cardano DeFi ecosystem. We've done a number of things to highlight this. We've looked at other DeFi ecosystems and shown just how important a stablecoin's role is within them. For example, if we use TERRA, which is the most recent example that we've used, many of these protocols and a lot of the actual total value locked within the Terra Luna ecosystem is actually derived from the integration with stablecoins, the use of stablecoins, whether that be in the forms of DEXs providing liquidity and being pegged against a stablecoin, or whether that be in the terms of borrowing and lending. So we have often spoke about comparing ARDANA, which is the project that we're going to be looking at today that we have covered previously, with the likes of MakerDAO and a number of other protocols out there that have done very well. And this is a project, an altcoin that has nowhere near reached its potential. We know currently what is going on with markets. There's a downturn, not just in the cryptocurrency markets, but across the board, given everything that is currently going on right now. But it's times like these where real smart investment decisions can be made. Finding something that has not yet appreciated in terms of value and that is still early on the journey that it is on. And that is what ARDANA, I believe, offers. It offers a investment, in my opinion. Remember, nothing I say or do on this channel is financial advice, but it offers an investment that over time, in my opinion, will do very well. And certainly I am a ARDANA holder, a Dana token holder, and I'm actually going to continue to accumulate Dana, really anticipating the kind of role that I think they're going to play within the Cardano DeFi ecosystem. So we are going to be diving into these guys. We're going to be telling you what they are. I'll be doing a little diagram. There's really two sides to this project. They have a kind of borrowing side, and they also have something called Dana Swap, which is essentially like a Forex market, but for the Cardano ecosystem stablecoin, the Cardano stablecoin ecosystem, I should say, which essentially is going to allow, what I mean by Forex is stable coins to be traded with very low slippage. There's going to be some liquidity opportunities here. You're going to mitigate a lot of that, or if not all of the impermanent loss issues, because of course with impermanent loss you have two assets. If one goes up in value, it will essentially chuck excess tokens out to make sure that the liquidity provided stays equal at all times. With stable coins you won't have that issue because they are indeed stable coins. Now the DUSD, which is ARDANA's stablecoin, essentially will be minted by providing Cardano as one example. I think there's going to be a number of other assets to the protocol, and you can essentially borrow DUSD against it. And then there's going to be sort of farming opportunities also attached to that. Also, as a Dana token holder, you will benefit from the protocol and the revenue generated from it, and also it is the governance token. So this is certainly a project that I'm very excited about. We're going to kind of go through their website very quickly, talk about the team, also talk about some of the investors like Three Arrows Capital that have actually invested within Dana. Now these guys are, and they have typically quite a good hit rate with investing in projects and them actually turning out to be successful. I've certainly seen the presence of Three Arrows Capital in a number of other projects. Some of them you can see in front of you. So we're going to get into it. Also talk about the team. I would really love, by the way, if anybody out there knows Ryan or any of the other team members, and if they would like to come on the channel, I would absolutely love to have them. So maybe hit them up on Twitter, and you know, if we can get in touch with them, that would be something that we'd really love to go into. So ARDANA. Well, what is ARDANA? First all-in-one stablecoin ecosystem built on top of Cardano. What is ARDANA? ARDANA is a decentralized stablecoin hub which will bring the necessary DeFi primitives needed to bootstrap and maintain any ecosystem, any economy to Cardano. That's exactly what it is. We've looked, like I say, at the likes of TERRA. If we go on coin market cap, you can see just how prominent. First of all, we have USDT, USDC. These, if you understand what stablecoins have done for the crypto space, you know, they've done an awful lot. They are very handy, and that's just in a general terms. But also, if we look at the likes of TERRA, their TERRA USD, UST, essentially has nearly half the market cap of Cardano currently. In fact, more than half of the overall market cap that Cardano has. So they're huge. It's a huge side of crypto. It's a huge side of DeFi. And the reason being is because they're very useful and they really provide a lot of liquidity, not just within the DeFi space, but generally. For example, if we look at Binance BNB, Binance Smart Chain, their BUSD is absolutely huge. And there's a number of other protocols out there. You know, we know for Ethereum, of course, you've got Tether and you've got USD C. And it's the same with a lot. For example, what ARDANA is, or similar to, certainly for myself that used Maker back in the early days, which is one of the protocols which really bolstered Ethereum's DeFi ecosystem. You know, essentially with MakerDAO, you do a similar thing to what you do with ARDANA, and that is you deposit Ethereum or a number of other assets, and you can essentially mint DAI against it being their stablecoin. DAI is just a stablecoin. And MakerDAO, I'm not quite sure where they are in terms of coin market cap currently, but they've done very, very well. You know, $1.7 billion in terms of value. I think Dana could be on a similar journey, in my opinion. It currently sits at 18 million in terms of market cap. One thing that is important to remember, there's about 10% of the overall tokens currently in supply. Now that, I don't know if that's 100% accurate. This is, of course, coin market cap. These guys can typically be quite slow in actually releasing data and staying up to date with it. So there may be more. But there is only 10% of the supply actually available currently. You know, there is a lot of inflation that's going to come with this, but I think the demand, when things get rocking and rolling, and given just what a fundamental role that it's going to play within the Cardano DeFi space, is going to vastly outweigh the kind of inflation associated with it. And also remember, you guys will actually be able to farm. There will be farming opportunities within this protocol. So the stablecoin, DUSD, is verified, backed by on-chain collateral, and will enable borrowers to take a leverage on their ADA or other supported assets. So it's not just Cardano you can borrow against. You know, this helps the entire ecosystem. They also have the swap side, an automated market maker, AMM, decentralized exchange for stable multi-asset pools. Dana is the highly compatible or highly capital efficient enabling swap with minimal slippage while providing low risk yield opportunities for leverage positions. Forgive me, guys, it is Friday. It's been a very long week. You know, these are some of the things: ultra low slippage with the swaps between stable coins and stable assets such as wrapped synthetic Bitcoin with minimal slippage. Deposit your assets into Dana Swap, pull and earn proportion of the market fees. Foreign exchange, swap between international stable coins such as DUSD, DEuro, DGBP, and more. So that's certainly interesting. By the way, the Forex market, if we're talking about traditional markets, is the largest market in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Trillions of dollars slosh back and forth. You also have a Dana token, which is their native token, which we are talking about today. What I am saying, I am buying and going to continue to do so, as I expect a lot of growth. For me, when I look at crypto, one reason Cardano appeals to me so much, and we speak about it daily, is just how early it is on its journey. It's got a long way to go. We know what's currently taking place with markets now, and how crypto is very tethered to the kind of general consensus of markets currently. You know, there's a lot going on, and it doesn't really usher in the breeding ground for flourishing markets right now. Certainly, we looked yesterday at the likes of commodities going up, a tightening economy, and how this may see the economy as a whole in a number of countries, or the majority of countries, actually really start to slow down and tighten, which isn't a typical recipe for flourishing markets, as people don't have the kind of money to invest. And that's on the back end of March 2020, which saw literally the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell himself, say that they flooded markets with money. So we've spoken a lot about the whole sort of market consensus, where I think we're at. You know, I don't think we're entering a 2-year-long bear market. I think that we're just having a down period, if you will, but we will see that resurgence. Certainly, we've got regulation coming for the US, which is all going to tie into everything. But Cardano is a blockchain that's still early and hasn't seen the kind of appreciation from DeFi that many other tokens have. Terra being the most recent example that can really attribute a lot of its success and growth in terms of market cap to their DeFi space. BNB did very, very well off capitalizing off of Ethereum's gas fees, and really that's why they're kind of where they are, because they capitalized massively off that. So you've got the Dana swap. Let's see. Also, it is the governance token. So the governance token rewards to users for supporting the ecosystem through liquidity provision. So you're going to be able to actually earn Dana token for actually providing liquidity and a number of other things for using their DApp. And then governance Dana token holders can participate in polling and voting to influence the development of ARDANA. So talks a little bit more about the Dana token, talks about the UTXO model, a number of other things. The roadmap. Now, I'm not actually sure exactly when the DApp is launching. We know when they're sort of aiming for Dana swap to release, and that's Q3 this year. So when I say this is an investment, that's exactly what I believe it is. I don't think it is a quick flip. I think this is something you invest in, and over time it will do well, certainly as we see it come online, certainly as we see the Cardano DeFi ecosystem grow. And one of the growing factors to the ecosystem, which we're already starting to see, is going to be the implementation of stable coins, which this DApp is potentially going to be, or this protocol is going to have a lot to do with. We're going to see these absolutely flourish. Certainly when we look at DEXs, the largest pools on DEXs typically involve stable coins, liquidity pools. Same for a lot of other DeFi protocols. So quickly, talks about the stable coin. You can come over here and kind of read everything. They've got a lot of literature actually on Dana. This is the team. You've got Ryan, you've got Isaac, lots and lots of very smart individuals. It's always good when you look at a project for them to have a team like this. You know, they've got a lot of very smart individuals working alongside them. Also, if we look at advisors, you know, you've got John O'Connor here. Of course, he is the leading guy for IOHK within Africa that is trying to kind of further African adoption of Cardano. And then you've also got here the UK Bank of England, who is somebody who is involved with central bank digital currency. So it's you've got a very good team, super good advisors working with them. They've also got a lot of really good investors. We come down here, you can see all their partners. You can also see their investors. So Seafund's quite an obvious one, and a number of other things. But certainly 3 Hours Capital is a name that I've heard time and time again, and they've typically done very, very well with their, you know, Axie Infinity investments. And these guys don't just back anybody. So that's certainly a silver lining. So how does, and I'll do a quick visual representation. You guys remember this is how we were showing you how a blockchain works. Back when Sunday Swap was congested, and we were explaining, you know, how the kind of queue mechanisms work. So essentially with Dana Swap, or sorry, not Dana Swap, with Ardana, how it will work is you will have your cryptocurrency. So we'll use ADA. And then what you will do is you'll essentially provide it to the protocol, and you'll provide it to the protocol. And then what you'll do is you will be able to borrow DUSD against it. So you'll maintain this. Essentially, you won't be able. So if your Cardano is worth $100, you'll be able to essentially borrow $80 in DUSD, and there'll be a 20% margin. Now, I'm not sure if these are the actual rates, but this is quite typical with borrowing and lending protocols. You will then, obviously, there'll be an interest rate on borrowing this, as there is with every kind of borrower. And you will essentially, what it enables you to do is keep your underlying crypto and borrow against it. And by the way, the ADA that you actually provide to this, because it goes into a smart contract, they don't actually take it off you necessarily. The only time it gets took off you is if you get liquidated. So if, for example, the value of Cardano was 100 and then it goes to 60, well, you've borrowed 80, so you'll keep the 80, but your underlying ADA will get sold at a certain point when your collateral drops below a certain proportion. You'll actually be able to keep staking this, so you'll still get your APY that you get for staking Cardano, and you'd essentially have borrowed it. So a way for you to be able to leverage the underlying crypto you have without actually selling it. You also aren't realizing from a tax point of view, you're actually not cashing out. So there won't be a tax on what you've made or lost in accordance. And then you can take that DUSD. You could perhaps provide it as liquidity with another stable coin like DJED, for example, to Dana Swap, which is the other side that they've got, and sort of farm things there as well. And of course, Dana holders will be able to stake their Dana and gain a kind of proportion of the overall fees generated from the protocol. So it does a number of things. It allows people a way to borrow against their crypto without having to sell it. It also offers a number of yield farming opportunities. The Dana token can be used, and it does a amazing thing by actually, it's a way of providing a stable coin to the Cardano ecosystem, which we've spoken about at great length. The kind of effect that that's going to have on the ecosystem as a whole. It's going to provide liquidity. And again, if you look at just how well, I mean, Maker did very well, which is a really good example of Dana, ARDANA. You know, you can see there's $9.8 billion in terms of value there. Also, TERRA's done very well off the back end of this. I think it's a protocol that's going to do extremely well. And I think if we look at where it is today, at one point, it was nearly $9. It's now trading for $1.46. So this is a coin that I'm going to continue to accumulate. And it's certainly a project that I'm really looking forward to launching and getting active and showing you guys everything around it. So this was just a brief overview. Like I say, anybody knows the team, please shout out to them. We'd love to have them on. They can get me on Twitter. And then I can sort of pass them on to my management team and we can sort something out. So that is really all I have for you in this video, guys. I am going to love and leave you on that note. If you have enjoyed this content, a like is always appreciated. So is a comment. On that note, enjoy your Friday evenings, everybody, and I'll catch you all in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you in the next one.